Hello, my name is Bishop Christopher Coyne, and through these liturgical blinks I hope to be able to answer some of the questions that people have posed to me regarding the Church's celebration of its liturgy. And today's question is a real interesting one. Okay, so say I'm the priest at Mass, and I know that out in the community I have a number of people who are not Catholic. There may be some who are not even baptized, a Jewish man or a Jewish woman attending Mass with his family or something like that. I can't at the time of communion say to everybody, everyone's welcome to the table whether you're baptized or not, or whether you share our communion. I can't do that in terms of the Church's law, first of all, and I can't do it in terms of the Church's liturgy and its tradition. It's not that we don't think that people are good people or that they're not as good as us. It's really just a whole understanding of what it is we're doing when we receive Holy Communion in the celebration of the liturgy. First, think about this. If I have committed a serious sin as a Catholic, serious sin now, and I haven't gone to confession yet, I have placed myself outside of the communion of the Church. And so therefore I refrain from receiving communion because I'm not in communion with the Church and its teaching and its life until I'm reconciled to the Church through the celebration of reconciliation. So even those of us who are fully baptized and initiated members of the Church, at times, unfortunately, may have to separate ourselves from communion until we're brought back into communion. So our celebration of the Mass and our reception of communion not only means that I'm able to receive the body of Christ, but it's a statement that I am in communion with the Catholic Church, that I believe in what the Catholic Church teaches, and that through my life I'm in communion with the Church. So in many ways, for me to invite people to the table who are not of our communion is a sense to not to recognize their faith, right? To say that, I'm not going to ask a Lutheran to necessarily receive communion in my church because he or she doesn't share my faith. And they are probably strong believers in their faith, I hope. The other thing is that the sacrament of the Eucharist is the final sacrament of initiation. It's historically, from the very beginning, one did not receive the Eucharist until one had been baptized and initiated into the Church. So one has to, through the Church's sacraments and through its communion of life, be in a place, be in a state, be of the Church so that one can receive communion. So when we celebrate communion, to open it up, to have open communion in the sense is to step aside from the Church's history, to not be good and hospitable hosts in the sense of recognizing that there are people of different faiths sometimes within our community, especially at funerals and weddings, and to also recognize the tradition and the call for each of us as Christian Catholics through our profession of faith, but also through our way of life, to maintain that community and communion. So at some point in the day, would it be wonderful for us to have the vision that all could come to the table of the Lord? Absolutely, and that is our vision. But the reality is that through divisions in churches and faith, and sometimes the divisions in our lives through sin, we're not in communion. But that doesn't mean we should stop trying. And as a member of that communion, to always live the good life of faith, to call others to that communion as well. My name is Bishop Christopher Coyne. Thank you, and God bless.